TCS Sports presents Penn State football. This show is being brought to you by Daly's Juice Products, to remind you that there's a Daly's treat for everyone. And by Long John Silver's Seafood Shop. For fish, chicken, and a whole lot more, Long John Silver's sounds good to me. And by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. And by Meyer Siegel and Associates, fine family of food. Lamagna cheese, the Ragusa for all reasons, and Rocca's Gourmet Pasta. Homemade pasta has never been so easy. And by Westinghouse, 130,000 people around the world dedicated to quality and excellence. From Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's the Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Cincinnati Bearcats. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savran, my partner George Paterno, and I welcome you to Penn State football. The Nittany Lions would take the lead at the end of one half, but George, they weren't happy with that. They came out in the second half a very angry football team.
Yes, Dan, they were very angry, and they should have been because they really played poorly. And I think they were angry for a lot of reasons. They were angry because they knew they didn't play well, and they were getting a stigma of being a team that played ugly and still won. And I think they were angry also because Cincinnati felt they were in the ball game at the time, and they were starting to try to intimidate the Penn State kids physically. They got themselves together at the halftime, and they came out in the second half, played probably the best half, especially offensively, as they have played all the year long.
Not only did Penn State shut out Cincinnati in the second half 17-0, but they held them to almost minus yardage until the game was out of control. Penn State ups their record to 9-0, beating the Cincinnati Bearcats. We'll be back with the first quarter of action in just a moment. Choose from a full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store. Some have described Penn State's offense as being conservative. Careful, perhaps, is a better word, but they're an offense that cannot afford to turn the football over if they want to maintain some offensive consistency. The Lions turned it over too often in the first half, and yet were able to grab the first half lead. A cool, overcast day at Riverfront Stadium with rain falling on over 35,000 fans. Cincinnati won the toss, and we pick up play with the Bearcats in possession following the opening kickoff. One of the wide receivers in a wing. It's a double wing setup. That's Williams, the fullback, in motion. Reggie Taylor on the pitch wide. Loses his footing and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss is a yard for Taylor. He's averaging better than 4 yards per carry. 895 yards rushing coming in. Second down. The fullback. Fumble on the play at the 30-yard line. Penn State signals they have it. The Penn State offense comes out of the field. Let's wait until they unpile. Penn State has recovered the fumble. Robert Williams, the fullback, hit hard initially by Don Graham. Michael Zordich stripped Williams of the ball, and it was Don Graham who recovered. And so, Cincinnati, which was a +9 in turnover ratio, gives it up on the second play from scrimmage. First down, 10, Penn State at the 28. Dozier, Manoa Hammer. DJ makes a move, still on his feet. Inside the 20-yard line. Dozier, tight-roping along the sideline, is knocked out of bounds by middle linebacker Brad Nofacker. We move to action later in the same drive.
This is exactly how Joe Paterno would have liked to start the game, running the ball right at the back end.
Just a bit shy of the first down. It is third down, less than a yard. Penn State goes with a double tight end. Manoa off tackle, clacking down to the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. He fumbled. Will they rule it a fumble? Cincinnati signals that they have recovered. Cincinnati has recovered the fumble. Brad Nosebacker recovered the fumble by Tim Manoa after he had picked up the first down at the 4-yard line. After the fumble by Manoa, both defenses forced punts. So we move to further action with Cincinnati facing a 3rd and 2. The throwing blitz by Connolly throws up in the air, and Lance Hamilton makes the interception at the 40-yard line. Shane Conlon with the big rush on McCoy. McCoy just threw it up there like a punt, and you just see Lance Hamilton sitting back and waiting. We move to further action with Penn State in control of the football. Penn State 1 for 2 on 3rd downs. Here's Dozier again. Breaks through the crack. On his feet, 20, 15. He's run out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Dozier displaying tremendous balance, kept his feet, and picks up big yardage to the 12. We move to action later in the same drive.
He wants that offensive team to get some confidence in itself that they have to make these plays, you know, when they're deep down in the opponent's territory.
4th down, 1 yard to go for the first down, 3 yards to go for the touchdown. Schaefer bootlegs. He can walk in, he throws, touchdown! Bob Williams, the Penn State second tight end, into the game as they went with a 3 tight end offense, and Williams his second touchdown catch of the year. And the first quarter ended with a score, Penn State 7, Cincinnati 0. Early in the second quarter, Cincinnati kicked a field goal to make it 7-3. As we pick up the action in the second quarter, Penn State's offense is about to give Cincinnati the lead. Play fake, Schaefer setting up a screen, and it is intercepted! It's going for a touchdown! Andre Jackson, the defensive end, picked up the screen by John Schaefer, and he returns it for a touchdown. We move to action later in the second quarter. Williams in motion. This is Taylor on the pitch. He's going to throw. He's rushed. He fires deep, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Ray Isom, a strong safety, with the interception, his second interception of the year, and Penn State stops the scoring threat. Following the interception by Isom, Lion 2-minute offense is attempting to score before the end of the first half. David Clark remains in at wing left. Schaefer throwing deep over the middle, and it is caught. Dominio at the 23-yard line. Here's the tip-off. Dozier's back in the game. That may mean they're going to run here. Simpson on the reverse. He's a block. He's 10, 5. He's dropped out of the 2-yard line. Second down and goal. Schaefer rolling again. He can run it in again. Schaefer running for the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State. John Schaefer that time tucked it up under and scores the Penn State touchdown. The clock ran out on the kickoff following Schaefer's touchdown, so the first half ended with the score, Penn State 14, Cincinnati 10. We'll be back right after this. Joe Paterno majored in literature at Brown University. He thought about attending law school, so much so that he actually took the law school boards. 35 years later, he is one of college football's most successful football coaches. How did he get involved in college football coaching?
Yeah, I talk to a lot of young people sometimes about what their careers ought to be and what they ought to take in college, and I always try not to be too personal, but I think that obviously what happens to you has got a lot to do with the way you advise other people. I've always told kids, get a good education. Don't try to prepare yourself necessarily for any one particular job, because that may not be the job you want 4 years from now, and it may not even be available. There may be other jobs that would be more exciting for you and what have you. And I think that's a little bit what happened to me as far as getting into coaching. I had never thought about being a coach until the spring of my senior year at Brown. Flip Engel had asked me to help out with spring practice. In those days, the Ivy League had spring practice. And they were developing a new quarterback, a kid by the name of Dave Carter, and he asked me if I could work with Dave, which I did, and I enjoyed it, really enjoyed it, but I had never given up my goal to be a lawyer. My dad had always dreamed about my being a lawyer, and I had enrolled at Boston University Law School, and I was going to start in the fall, and I was going to try to get a little job coaching in one of the prep schools in the Boston area, or work over at BU for Buck Donnelly to help pay my way through law school, but never with the idea I wanted to coach. I was going to be a lawyer. I wanted to be the next Perry Mason. And I figured out I could just see myself up there, fighting over bad guys as quick as I was and as smart as I was and whatever. But anyway, Rip Angle got the job at Penn State at the end of spring practice of 1950. And he invited a couple other people to come down. Rip only wanted to hire one coach. He wanted to keep the whole staff, but he wanted to bring somebody from Brown with him that was familiar with the offense. The two people he invited decided they didn't want to come. So I think in desperation, Rip said to me, would you like to coach? And I said, gee, Rip, I don't know. I was kind of surprised, and I called up my family, and my dad was a little bit stunned, but didn't say anything. He said, you better talk to your mother. And I got my mom on the phone, and I said, Mom, I think I'm going to go down to Penn State and coach. She said, what'd you go to college for? So there was not much respect for the coaching profession. But I figured I'd come down, try it for a couple of years. I was a bachelor. They had 5,000 to 6,000 beautiful co-eds, and I knew they'd all be attracted to a handsome devil like myself. So this is a long story, but I got down here, didn't like the town. I hated State College for the first 2-3 months, and I told Coach Engel that I probably wouldn't stay more than a year. But pretty soon, the town grew on me, the people grew on me. I thoroughly enjoyed the coaching. The alumni impressed me. The student body impressed me with their commitment to trying to better themselves. It was a whole different atmosphere than I had experienced at the Ivy League school I had gone to. And one year led to another. I never really ever, I don't think, made a firm commitment that I was always going to stay in coaching until maybe when I got married, which was 12, 13 years after I'd been at Penn State. Because every time we'd lose a tough game, I'd say to myself, I'm going back to law school. I don't need this kind of nonsense. And one year went on to another, and I obviously have enjoyed it very, very much.
George Paterno said it best. Penn State, although they had the lead at the end of one half, came out in the second half as a very angry football team, and to prove it, they held Cincinnati's offense to a -8 yards total offense in the third quarter. As we pick up the action, Penn State faces a 4th and 1 deep in Cincinnati territory, and they decide to go for the first down. Manoa and Dozier behind John Schaefer. Schaefer rolling. He's going to try to run. He dives near the 8-yard line. It'll be very close. He had to get a bit inside the 9. It all depends on the spot of the ball. Again, the double tight end. Clark, running inside to the 5. And maybe down to the 4-yard line. Following Tim Manoa, Richard Rhodes, the free safety, made the tackle, but a gain of 4.
Maybe the most underestimated back on the team, David Clark.
Lincoln now will attempt a 19-yard field goal. He is 14 out of 19 in field goals this year. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Penn State was penalized 15 yards on the kickoff following Maggie's field goal. Cincinnati has the ball first and 10 at its own 35. Latham in motion. Reggie Taylor bobbles the ball. Good in the backfield. He'll be dropped for a loss at the 32-yard line. Taylor did well just to hang on to it. He almost fumbled the pitch. Lance Hamilton closing quickly. Second down, 13 yards to go. Taylor, this time he does drop it, and Penn State has recovered the fumble. Mike Russo has recovered the fumble near the Cincinnati 30-yard line. And Matt Kisner has come in as the quarterback. So Matt Kisner, the junior from Youngwood, PA, he's completed 8 out of 10 passes this year, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He'll run the offense, and he'll throw on first down. Kisner firing, and it is caught inside the 20-yard line. Ray Roundtree makes the reception, so Kisner comes off the bench, and he's firing. Kisner rolling. He fires the sideline, and it is caught. Near the 10-yard line, the pass complete to Michael Timpson. We move to action later in the same drive. Second and goal. Dozier again. Dozier, touchdown Penn State. DJ got outside, and for Dozier, his 3rd touchdown of the year. And Penn State has extended their lead. After Dozier's touchdown, the Bearcats have the ball after being penalized on the kickoff return. Williams in motion. This is Taylor. Shane Collins got him. He throws him for a loss. Fumble. McCoy picks it up. But they're going to roll that Taylor was down, but the ground caused the fumble. McCoy Sideline, Stargles hit that. It's intercepted by Zordich. Penn State ran 2 plays after Zordich's interception. Then the third quarter ended with the score, Penn State 24, Cincinnati 10. On the first play of the fourth quarter, Penn State scores to put the game out of reach. First and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Noah and Dozier in a pro set. Kisner, quarterback sneak, touchdown, Penn State. Matt Kisner sneaking in for the touchdown. And the Nittany Lions have opened up a 16-point lead.
That was a good call, and Matt took it over the left guard. He just took a quick look, jumped over the left guard, easy touchdown. And Penn State really looks good.
After the touchdown by Kisner, Cincinnati has moved to Lion territory on its next possession. Third down, long yardage. McCoy, time.
That's a 2-man rush, Dan.
Now they've got him, and he's sacked again. Tim Johnson got him again. Neither offense did much in the last 7 minutes. The game ended with the score, Penn State 31, Cincinnati 10. We'll be back right after this. The offensive and defensive players of the game are brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, makers of Budweiser, Michelob, Busch, and L.A., and by Westinghouse, and by Daly. The defensive player of the game is Don Graham. Don is a senior majoring in hotel, restaurant, and institutional management from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Graham has moved positions this year from inside to outside linebacker. Quite often, from an outside slot, you'll see Graham up on the defensive line in an ends position. From there, he's able to put pressure on the quarterback, as he did today against Cincinnati, with 2 quarterback sacks and a fumble recovery to go with 6 tackles. The offensive player of the game is D.J. Dozier. D.J. is a junior majoring in business administration from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Penn State fans keep asking, is D.J. fully recovered from the off-season knee surgery? Well, we've seen some great runs by the talented Dozier the last few weeks, many in key situations. The same was true today against Cincinnati, as D.J. had 112 yards on 20 carries and scored a touchdown. Congratulations to D.J. Dozier and Don Graham, this week's players of the game. Truly in the home stretch in the drive for an undefeated season and a possible national championship. Next up, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, a team that whipped Penn State soundly last year, and a team that is playing its best football of the year. The Fighting Irish have now won 4 in a row. George Valentine played all his games against Penn State. He probably would have won the Heisman Trophy 4 years in a row.
Yes, Dan, you're looking at the all-time ground gainer for Notre Dame, and that's quite an accomplishment.
Pinkett has just had a tremendous career, especially against Penn State. He's hurt him every time out, scoring 4 touchdowns in the game at South Bend last year. Steve Berline probably had his best game of his career against Penn State last year.
Had a fabulous game, especially throwing those quick outs which stretched Penn State's defense. He's got a big-time arm.
Berline has had some injury problems, and so Notre Dame has gone to an alternate quarterback, Terry Andrusiak. He's more of a scrambler rollout guy.
Well, he's a little bit like Matt Kisner. He can do both. He's good on the rollout, but yet he's got a lot of zip on the ball. A young quarterback. They have 2 fine quarterbacks.
Oh, Notre Dame defense, they're just immense. They're huge. Steve Lawrence comes to make a tackle here, but that's a big Notre Dame defense.
Well, for years, nobody's really been bigger or better than Notre Dame. They match up with anybody, personnel-wise.
Well, the Fighting Irish visit Beaver Stadium Saturday, a 3:30 kickoff, by the way. Penn State Notre Dame is always a big game, but considering the circumstances of this season, it could be the pivotal game of the year for Penn State.
Oh, absolutely. Penn State has a lot of reasons why they would like to beat Notre Dame. Not only the national ranking, the bowls, and possibly a national championship, but last year, Notre Dame didn't beat them. Notre Dame humiliated them. So I'm sure there's a little sense of revenge involved here. However, Notre Dame's on a roll, and Notre Dame will match up with any team in the country personnel-wise, so it should be a super football game.
The talent for Notre Dame has always been there. Penn State and Notre Dame coming up at Beaver Stadium. Hope you'll join us next week for the highlights of that one. That's it for Penn State football this week. For my partner George Paterno and everyone here at TCS Sports, this is Stan Savran saying thank you for watching, and until next time, so long, everybody.